Right, Shalom, giving all praise unto Yabashima Shabashim Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone and the honest brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And the Bible everybody are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh. Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kodash, giving all praise unto Yabashima Shai Bashim Kodash. It's going to be an in transit style video based upon this article that you see here, where basically you see another example of the East rejecting the ways of the West. The East rejecting the ways of the West, which we understand the West to be a place that's spearheaded by America and spearheaded by the philosophies of Babylon, spearheaded by the philosophies of America, which is Babylon. And I wanted to just speak upon that and try riff on that in a transit style video. So without much further ado, as you can see from the title the article is entitled China Bans the OnlyFans. Now the 304s out here within the West, you know, that's how a lot of the money has been made, and we understand from the statistics, really it's not everybody that goes on OnlyFans to become some kind of a millionaire. It's only a small percentage, but the vibration that Esau wanted to push was the vibration of whoredoms, and the scripture calls Babylon the great mother of whores, right? The great mother harlot. That is to say, that particular vibration being pushed out there into the world brings forth a lot of whoredoms, okay, harlots, and you got more harlots now. Brother made a great point a long time ago. You got a lot more harlots now than you have mothers, and the ratio is way out of balance, and therefore a lot of things is out of whack. Like the scripture says within the book of Jeremiah, the 51st chapter. Therefore the nations are mad, and indeed the nations are mad underneath the vibration of lust all the time. Right? I don't know if you're supposed to be seeing that much flesh all the time. Who knows what that does to your mind? And you know, a lot of these young kids now, they're growing up all depressed, growing up all without what's known as a lack of motivation. You think about the ancient world and how a person was able to acquire a woman, so to speak. We're just using this as an example. You think about how the ancient times, how you was able to acquire a woman. Well, first and foremost, your family was going to be involved. That means to say that union was more of a thing of stability for the two of you. It was more powerful. If you think about the power that comes with bringing together two families for the purposes of furthering that particular line, that's a very powerful thing to do. And we see that way of doing things is shunned within the West. That's shunned. Or how can you be with somebody and you're not in love with them? That's that love thing, that romantic thing. That's an Edomite thing. And we see what comes off of the back of that love ideology. That whole we got to be together and we can only be together if we love each other. That whole ideology has brought forth a lot of destructive power within the world. Divorce rates are high. And really, when you look at the Asian cultures, you look at the Eastern cultures that are got their foundations within what's known as a so-called arranged marriages. Those marriages are more successful, and really they're falling underneath the vibration of the West. Really, within the Eastern culture, there's no such real thing as you know, perpetual divorce and you know, married the fifth time and so on and so forth. That's not really a thing that was common. We understand from the scriptures and we understand from the law that there is provision for that, but the incentive within the West to be divorced is very high, and you can go on a platform and sell yourself as a so-called divorce MILF and make money. That's how they sell the story, right? That's how they sell the story. Which you think about the destructive power that has upon the vibration of the earth. That's very disruptive. It's very destructive. Okay, it's very disruptive and very destructive. And because a woman really in a natural position, when you understand how the Most High set up the household, a woman in a natural position, that's a beautiful lot. He really, you gotta teach the kids to walk under the vibration of the man, nurture them, make them into men. We see within the scriptures how that there was particular men that the Most High used via the proverbs and different things that we read about. They said things that was of note. One example that comes to mind, the woman that lost her 7 sons. Man, these OnlyFans women, they wouldn't be able to do that. They wouldn't hold that much courage. They'll fall underneath depression. They'll be all up eating the pork and everything, man. Whatever. What's another example? We saw within the scriptures another woman. Somebody might be able to post the precept and the history concerning that particular scripture. But what was the statement? Give not thy strength unto women. And when you're consuming all of this stuff, man, you got to be careful what you put in your mind, by the way. When you're consuming all of this stuff, it's not good for the mind, man. It's not good for the brain. It's not good for the mentals. And again, going back onto the point I was making, a lack of motivation, depressed. Why? Because instead of pursuing things that's going to further yourself as an individual within I want to say within this truth. I don't want to say within the world. I'll say within this truth. Instead of pursuing things that's going to better you as a more rounded person, a brother within this truth, you know, you're wasting a lot of time watching this stuff. But anyways, we see there's a push within the East, right, to get rid of a lot of these things within the society of their lives, within the fabrics of their lives. There's a real big push to get rid of a lot of that. There's a real big push to take away the rainbow community, to take away the whoredoms, to take away the freakism. There's a real big push within some of these Eastern cultures to do that, because really they're becoming to understand that it's very destructive, and that's why they called it a cleanup. Now, don't get it twisted. There may be ulterior motives to this, right? They could link up particular things with this. For example, within the UK, now if you was to so-called watch this page, this OnlyFans, you know, you're gonna put your credentials and everything in there, so that leads into the tracking. So, you know, sometimes, you know, you can look at these articles in two, 3 different ways. Okay, you can look at them in two, 3 different ways. They can say, yeah, it's a cleanup, but really it could be a means to an end. That is to say, they're already making waves to move to the next situation, which is, as we understand, the social credit system. And again, like I said, out here within the UK, in order for you to be able to access those particular things outside of a VPN, you have to have your either your credit card, your face, you get your face scanned, or whatever the situation may be, in order for them to track what you do on the internet. So that's always something to think about. That's always something to think about with Esau. And you know, Esau and Moab, you know, they're tied together with history. When you read the scriptures, they're very much tied together within the history. So you always have to think, okay, what's the play here? They might frame it as something that's so-called positive for their culture. They might frame it in a way that's what's the word I'm looking for? Inflammatory. Right? They might frame it in a way that's so-called inflammatory against the West. But really, when you think about where they're moving towards they're moving towards, like Trump said, we're going to be a little bit more like China. I believe it was Trump that said that. They're looking to be more like China. So they might look at this and say, okay, look, you know, China's already banned it. We got to ban it as well. We can't be left behind. We got to so-called increase the fabric of our culture. They could frame it like that. They could frame it like that. They could frame, well, okay, yeah, we gotta clean up our act too. And in so-called cleaning up their act, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna say, okay, the only way to access this is you gotta have the digital ID. In order for you to be able to access these particular things, you gotta have the digital ID in order for you to access things online. And we know where that's going to. Okay, we already know where that's going to. So yeah, just a few words on this particular article. Hopefully it's been of edification, right? I know I've been speaking about a lot of things there, but hopefully it's been of edification, where we can come to understanding that, yeah, man, the West has been a poison throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Remember what the scripture says, therefore the nations are mad. And indeed, these nations have become mad, right? Men ain't men anymore. Women ain't women anymore. Women are 304s. Men are effeminate. It's a terrible situation upon the face of the earth. But upon Yahweh's return, that's when the real cleanup is going to be coming there. That's when the real cleanup is going to be there. All right? So with that, I'm going to say all praise unto Yahweh, double honors unto the apostles, a great millstone, and the honest brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. I'll see you on the next one. Shalom.